Look at ladies and gentlemen, if y'all knew the chaos we have been going through to get this podcast rolling, y'all will appreciate this shit a lot more than what it is right now. But we are here. Myself, Scooter Ray, aka Scoot Wayne. You have Aranya, aka the Rubenesque Catwoman. You have Planet Niko, aka Bruce Wayne. You have Cosmic Boss, and you got NEONXERXES. And by the names, you can tell we are here to talk about one thing: Matt Reeves, the Batman. As a family, we went to go see this last night. You know, it was a pretty good time. Shout out to Mike, he was with us. Shout out to Nico's daughters, they was with us as well. You know, one big group outing, and you know, we here to talk about it, give thoughts. This will be some spoilers in here, so just
That's
letting
right.
y'all
That's
know.
right.
A minute in, there will be spoilers. So if you have not seen the movie, this is the shortest podcast you will ever listen to. All
If you
right,
ain't seen the movie, what the fuck you doing, man?
look,
What you
motherfuckers
like?
motherfuckers be curious.
What y'all
Motherfuckers
be
be
doing,
curious,
man?
and they be clicking on shit. This will be the shortest podcast you listen to if you hadn't seen it. So the first thing we gonna talk about, and we gonna throw it to Planet Nico. What was your initial thoughts going into this movie?
So my initial thoughts again. So I know a lot of people have reservations about the casting of Batman, but I had faith in Robert Pattinson. I have faith in Matt Reeves, great director. The Planet of the Apes, the last two have been two of my favorite movies in the last what was it 10 years. Just in time, especially with everybody trying to do these trilogies, like you can tell he knows how to tell a concise story, even with the runtime of the movie. The casting was good, so I didn't really have a lot of reservations. The 3 hour runtime for any movie is probably the only one I have. If they're trying to stuff too much into movie, but other than that, I expected it to be good. I did not expect it, if anything, I did not expect it to be probably one of my favorite Batman films.
All right, the Rubenesque Catwoman, as the as the non-comic book person here. What were your
You gotta
thoughts going
go.
into it? Yeah, can we
Oh,
do it with her?
I do it on my own time. Y'all don't rush me.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I went into it with no expectations. Again, I am not the comic book person, and I like to represent the demographic of our audience that does not do comic books. They don't know. So, of course, I've seen, you know, some animated Batman series, and I've seen a few things here and there, but and some films. You know, I'm not taking away from the films, but other than knowing who Edward Cullen is
Cedric
and
Diggory.
and
R.I.P.
Zoe Kravitz, I didn't know anything else, nothing else. Like literally, I was like, wait, who's that? At the very beginning, I'm like, who? Wait, who's that? So I do know a few villains. I'm sure that everyone could come up with a long list of villains that I'm unaware of because I don't know. So I wanted it to be fresh set of eyes, no bias, just going into it as a film to enjoy it for entertainment purposes, and that I did.
Wait, not to shame. You did know Riddler and Penguin, right?
Yeah, I
Okay.
know Riddler, Penguin, Joker, Two Face.
I'm pretty sure you didn't know about the Carmines and the Falcones either. You didn't know about those mafia groups. Okay.
You know about
But
Calendar
you
Man?
remember what I did know? Do you remember what I did know
What was that?
about the asylum?
Oh yes, yes. You knew
Wait,
about Arkham.
wait, do you know Calendar Man?
Do you know
All
Victor's
right, just
Ass?
check, just check. You know,
This is what we're doing. Y'all see,
kite,
they trying to
kite,
change.
kite man.
Professor Pig?
Captain Moist.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Now we're going to dabble in a little experiment. Boss, what was your thoughts going in?
Um, this is probably gonna come through fucked up. Shit. My my initial thoughts on this movie. I didn't have high expectations. I didn't have low expectations. Because I knew Matt Reeves' history going into it. So, I was excited for him because he has probably been one of the best directors of the past 20 years. The Planet of the Apes trilogy that he finished off, those 3 movies were better than the originals, in my opinion. And I own every last movie regarding Planet of the Apes except that Mark Wahlberg trash. Um, uh, so, and I was also a fan of Paul Dano from the Prisoners with Hugh Jackman. So I knew he was gonna be good, but
Wasn't Terrence Howard in that too?
In Batman, no, he wasn't in Batman.
No,
That was
no, in Prisoners.
in the Prisoners,
Yeah,
Batman, man.
I
I think Terrence Howard was in that movie.
Come on,
man.
Batman, man.
No, Batman.
Batman.
If it was, I don't remember him, but
The Riddler asking for you, man.
Let me go and play Jim Gordon, man.
Come on, man. Let me get that Jim Gordon, man.
oh shit.
Goddamn, Batman, man. They're gonna flood the city, Batman.
Nah, he needs to play Two-Face. Gonna flip this coin, man.
Flip the coin, man. Shit.
Heads you die, man. Tails you live, man.
Tells you live, man. Then we gonna rob this motherfucker, man.
Oh man, but yeah, I didn't have high, I didn't have low expectations, so I just thought it was gonna be a middle of the road Batman movie, like Dark Knight Rises was. So like, but it surprised me. It surprised me. I'll say that.
All right, Zerk, what you got?
So I didn't have any thoughts going in, but I say that I was impressed. I believe this was a great film. To piggyback off of Niko mentioning casting reservations, I think Robert Pattinson handled it well, given his style and given what was to be illustrated about Batman in this movie. Given that this wasn't an origin, but meant to show Batman in his early years. So I think he did a great job showing a Bruce Wayne / Batman still trying to figure themselves out. I think he carried that emotion well. But overall, I was thoroughly impressed with this. This essentially was a piece of art.
Yes. I would say going into it, my intrigue was hit because, they were saying it was more horror movie-esque, which I know we got horror movie people in here, but apparently the overall goal was to make it more of a horror movie type situation. So that intrigued me, especially to see this take on the Riddler, because we'll get into it, but hearing how much Paul Dano was creeping his own castmates and the crew out, I was really intrigued. And to go with the casting thing, I learned my lesson when Dark Knight came out, because when they said Heath Ledger was playing Joker, I was like 10 things I hate about you. That's playing here. And once again, that was a mistake I'll never make again. So ever since then, I don't make judgments on who they get to play whomever until I see the role. So going into it, it's Batman. I'm a Batman stan. So regardless if this movie sucked or not, I was gonna like it. Yeah, I said it.
And not to cut you off, Scott, I want to say two things. Paul Dano is creepy all the fucking time.
True, he has a creepy fucking face.
He just looks like that dude. Like, what you doing, man? Like, he looked like the dude that stand behind you when you like checking out and shit at a store, and you like, hey, like this dude too close, man.
Hey, Orion, what you gonna do if you was in the club and the Paul Dano was behind you? Like, hey,
tase him.
It won't even.
I told Boss, I was like, he gives me a John Wayne Gacy vibe. Mm-hmm. So, hey, serial killer, get the fuck away from me. Tase in the neck. I learned that from Batman.
He looked like he like take a little bit of your hair and just
right and be like, you're so beautiful. Get the fuck away from me.
Yeah. And the other thing I was gonna say with the casting thing, bro, I think it's so funny that people always like look at casting and go crazy. Michael Keaton, who is still my favorite Batman, outside of Beetlejuice, he was doing like rom-coms and stuff, man. He was, come on, man. He wasn't an action star. He wasn't like a classically handsome dude. he came in and bodied that shit. Did he say, "Oh, y'all won't put nipples on me"? And Tim Burton ain't here. I'm out. I'm gonna go back to these rom-coms and stuff.
I see y'all in Spider-Man Homecoming in years.
You know what I'm saying? And Morbius.
You know. But all right, so now that we got our initial thoughts and feelings out the way, let's get into how we felt after the movie. Now, this is a 3-hour movie, so let y'all know it's 3 hours. It feels like 3 hours, but to me, it was a good 3 hours because the whole time I was sitting there like, what's going to happen next? And exactly where is the end game going to happen? Because the opening, 3 minutes? Yep. Where we was listening to him watching the mayor's family, I was like, that is the creepiest shit I have ever seen to open a movie. The whole heavy breathing, because honestly, I thought it was about to be some type of sniper situation.
Right.
But that was the creepiest opening 3 minutes going in. But once we started getting all into that, anybody? Well, you know what? Let's ask Aranya. Since you're not the comic book fan, what was your thoughts and feelings after all it was over with? When the credits hit, what was your thoughts and feelings about the movie?
I enjoyed the film, and if you've ever watched any of these before, I'll always say I try to watch movies according to the entertainment value. I try not to have too heavy of a like a view of like, oh, can you compare it to this or that? Like, man, some people want to be able to pick up a film, not watching any other film, can it stand alone, etc., etc. And I had a lot of anxiety because I'm sitting here with the gurus of Batman, and I'm like, I hope it's not anything where I'm sitting there like, and everybody's looking like you didn't catch it, and then they scold me. So overall, I thought it was really good. Like I said, is his name Dano? Is that what you said?
Paul Dano.
Okay, Paul Dano. Great John Wayne Gacy vibes. Like instantly, I was like, "This ew," and I was like, "Oh, he's lame." Like that is the like that is the person who would mastermind this shit. Like a lame nobody who's never seen, and he. Like if I saw him in real life, he would still look kind of weird because I mean he gives you that really scary vibe. Gazing at Zoe Kravitz is a pleasure. Like I told them yesterday, if you say she's not beautiful, you're a fucking hater. She's a beautiful woman. I think she embodied Catwoman very nicely. Very sexy, very emotional, which is what she's supposed to be, and I think she played her part well. I want to shame all of the people that I asked, was Batman a virgin? Because in this film, in my humblest of opinions, like you would say, well, is he a fucking virgin? Because like
he was horny every time he saw her.
Yeah, but that sexual energy was like, oh, I got other things to do. What the fuck do you mean it's Zoe Kravitz? You have nothing else to do.
You gotta save the city.
Fuck that. So I thought it was really entertaining. I think Colin Farrell did a great job as the Penguin. I always had Danny DeVito in my head looking grimy and gross where I was going to vomit, and he looked like he smelled like the back of a pantry, in the very
biting the fucking fish.
Yeah, like, I always had that thought. And so like this particular, again, it had these nice gentlemen not told me. I didn't know that was Colin Farrell. I was like, who's that? Ew. And then they were like, wait, that's Colin Farrell. So like I think he did a really good job. Everybody really played their role. Shout out to who is the man that's the mayor, y'all? What's the name?
I don't know.
Not the mayor. The cop man that was brave.
Oh, you talking about Jim Gordon? Jeffrey Wright. That's a Watu. Okay.
Yeah, I've never seen that man before in my life. Like I don't know who that is, but
I have 100%.
He was in the Hunger Games.
Wasn't he MLK?
Yeah, he was MLK like years ago. You've seen Jeffrey Wright.
He's in Westworld.
Remember Wildwood and BE in the second Hunger Games? He was one of them.
He looked a little, I guess because he looked a little older, but he films older. He looks older in the face. But
Mhm.
anyway, he did a great job as well. Like I really, really think that everybody, the cast that they chose was really spot on. And those people really embodied what their characters were supposed to be, which always makes for a good film. Because except the chief with the tiny voice.
Yeah, yeah.
No one's afraid of you, sir. Go sit your ass down.
He's in the gym every day after work. They told you.
All right, we gonna try to get boss's opinions with his Zap Daddy Mike.
Zap Daddy.
All right, Zap Daddy, what was your thoughts and feelings about the movie? With you being a Batman hater,
I'm not a Batman hater.
it was
This
documented.
is
It is documented that there was a podcast with myself, you, and Nico,
I was there. Yeah.
Batman hater.
Hating.
no. What that podcast was is that Batman is the greatest Mary Sue in media history. Now, Batman, this movie is easily in my top 3 Batman films ever. Um, I don't know if I'll put it over Dark Knight yet, or if I'll put it over like uh, Tim Burton's Batman, but it is good. This Batman movie, we got more of Batman than we've gotten any of the past few dozen movies of him, which were mainly focused around the city or the villains or so on and so forth. This one also called him out for what it was, and I loved it. Like, he's like spoiled rich kid with a savior complex, and like that was present from the beginning to the end with this whole vengeance thing. When he beat up the street kids in the beginning, he was like, "I'm vengeance," and that got turned around on him at the end, and he had to realize, you were nothing but like a psycho with a savior complex. So, like, it was like this, like Zerk said, this was just art from beginning to end, from the acting, the the cinematography, the directing, just the music was very good. Uh, like I loved it. I love this film, and I was pleasantly surprised. This is like one of the best Batman films ever. Like right there with like Batman Returns, The Dark Knight, Mask of the Phantasm. This is a great Batman film.
All right, Zerk, what you got?
So to the cinematography, I have to agree with Boss on that. Uh, Two scenes I thought were great that I really liked was during the chase scene where the Penguin actually thought he shook Batman, and you see Batman coming through those flames. And then after he crashed, the next scene I thought was great. After the Penguin's car was turned over, the way you see Batman walking toward him, the way the fact that it was slow motion and the camera angle, I thought was great.
Not only that, but the way he looked over down at him, like
Like
you gonna try to run.
we
You
finished or we through.
Yeah. And just the way everybody, like Aranya said, that they played their part. As you see, like the Penguin was not acting like some just master criminal mastermind. He's essentially an underling, you know.
I
He
think
is
his
just
HBO Max show is gonna get into him becoming more of a crime boss.
there you go. So I mean, he's just still an underling. You know, he's a somebody, but not yet a somebody. Because you can see how he's a little intimidated by Batman. You know, so we're seeing just some kind of origin, but not an origin, like from the very beginning origin. Just showing them they're at that cusp at the very beginning. They are who they are, and they're going to become to what we expect, what we're used to. Once again, I think Patterson, his style, he really handled that emotional journey of becoming what Batman is supposed to be. With the way that it ended is how he's realizing I got to be more than what I thought I was. Like what Boss is pointing out, savior complex, I'm vengeance, yada, yada, yada. And he realized at the end, I got to be more than what I started out to be. You know, because I know that given what I've seen Robert Pattinson done, it's only really, I just know him as Edward Cullen from Twilight. But I think that kind of, how can I describe it? That over emotion that we saw in Twilight, this really played well in this movie to show I'm trying to figure myself out. I liked how they showed Gordon as not commissioner, he was lieutenant. So we're getting an intro into who these people are. They're just at that cusp. And if he decides to go forward with another movie, maybe we'll see them still on that journey, or they'll be, hey, this is Commissioner Gordon, yada, 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 you know. But I think it could still work if he makes another movie and they're still in that development phase. They're just going to like a next step. I think that'll be great. Instead of just throwing us into, oh, this is Batman brooding, Dark Knight, yada, yada, yada. This is Commissioner Gordon. This is Selena Kyle's calling herself Catwoman. No, I think a great thing will be just show a next step. You know, that they have to kind of come to terms with what they went through in the prior movie. Whoever wrote this movie deserves a goddamn Oscar. This was some superb writing.
You know, they be hating on superhero movies when it comes to the Oscars. So, you know.
Yeah, you know what?
Well, so Matt Reeves and a couple other people wrote it. And so what I heard too, Zerk, I don't know if you know this, but Matt Reeves, one of his mentors or teachers, was the guy who wrote The Long Halloween. So I don't know if that has something to do with it. But I thought that was a dope fact.
Well, you know what? They just did a superb job, you know. And I like also, and this was also done in Chris Nolan's Batman. The way I describe it is that they don't try too hard with the whole superheroes.
Yep.
Like, for instance, the way I can illustrate this is like in The Dark Knight. We know it's the Joker, but they never called him that. They never said, oh, I'm the Joker. And they did this with this movie because I don't think they ever called him Batman. I mean, I didn't catch it. Maybe I missed it.
Yeah, they called him the Batman.
Yeah.
Okay. But you notice also, like Selena Kyle, never say anything about Catwoman. It was just subtle hints. They never called herself Catwoman.
Yep.
She's just, a victim of circumstance, with a motivation of just revenge against somebody, who slighted her as a father and trying to get revenge for a friend. She's just a victim of circumstance, Overall, character development was great. It wasn't overdone. Pacing was good. Just overall, I thought it was great. It didn't feel. You know what? A superhero movie that didn't feel like one. I mean, that's exactly what we got. It kind of gives you that vibe you felt when we saw the Joker.
Right.
Yes.
I was just about to say that.
It has that same vibe. Like he was a supervillain movie that didn't feel like one. We got a superhero movie that didn't feel like one. It's like, we just seeking to make a great film and just happen to be a superhero. So, I'd love to see Matt Reeves take that same vibe and style and energy and show us these characters in the next step. That's all I got.
All right, Niko. I'm pretty sure you and I can probably go back and forth. But thoughts and feelings with this?
Yeah. But so my thoughts on the film, I mean, overall, to what Boss said, like it is in my top 3. It's in my top 3 with Batman Returns being one of my favorites. I think that was when that movie came out, like just the continuing to make a dark Batman like that, but have some bright spots in it that kept the tone was, what Tim Burton is good at. But tell a story with all these other characters as well. And then, the Dark Knight was dope. The Dark Knight in this movie, even though I'm jumping ahead a bit on my thoughts, the car scenes in those. Batman is just known for having really good car scenes. That car scene in the Batman is probably one of my favorites, man. I don't. The Joker in Batman car scene was cool. Just him riding on the motorcycle. That Joker, like, come on, do it, like run me over, bitch. You know what I mean? Like I like that. But this to me was like like Batman was almost a damn monster. It was like a monster chase. Like you trying to get away
I
from
mean,
something that's
I
bigger
mean,
than the
not only that, let's not forget how we got introduced to that Batmobile. It was a bunch of shooting going on, and next thing
yeah.
you know, you just hearing that shit rev up, and you like, what the fuck is happening?
It wasn't even Batman. It was the car. Like that's how you felt.
Yeah, and it was like,
Side note on that, let's not forget also that at the beginning, the car was still getting worked on. He had a sheet covered up. You know, we didn't know what to expect. And also, since we brought the car up, you know, it's almost say the car is his own character because this isn't some fully fleshed out Batmobile. He just getting started.
But it's a beast. And so to backtrack, just the overall story, I think that's what I liked about it. The car, the characters, everybody's kind of at a starting point. Batman, we're not getting an origin story. But he's 2 years in, and like we were talking about earlier, like he's kind of narrating his experience. Like I've been doing it for this long. I can't be everywhere. And you see crime going on in the city and him being particular about where he goes because he is just a man. Doesn't matter how much money he has, how many gadgets he's building. He's a dude in a suit. He's a human. So you know what I mean? I like that. Like that depiction of him. I also like the fact that he still needs help. Like if you look at him deciphering these riddles, you know, that the Riddler is leaving behind, Alfred has to come in, right? Which is another great casting. Andy Serkis is, I don't think they've had a bad Alfred casting.
no.
It's either been like, like, you know, it's Alfred, or it's been like, you know, good Alfred. Even Jeremy Irons was a good fucking Alfred, but Andy Serkis looked like he could square. He looked like he wanted to square up with Batman a couple times. Like
It did.
Man, you know, like, oh, I don't give a shit if you Batman. Like, you better come up here and take this meeting. But he still needed help. He needed help from Selena Kyle to go into this place where we know if we watch or read the comic books, Batman will put on a mask and put on prosthetics and stuff and go undercover. He's not at that point yet. He's got some gadgets, but he's still very much dependent on people in the city because he doesn't have all the resources. I liked outside of the detective stuff, I like seeing Batman sloppy, man. Batman passed out 2 times. He passed out 2 times. He woke up in that precinct like the fuck off me, like ready to fight all these cops. But that scene of him trying to get out of that police precinct lets you know that this is 2 year in Batman. He's running around, he's pushing, he's like, get the fuck out the way. Like he's pushing people down. He can't fight all these cops. He shot that thing up there. He shot his grappling hook up there, man, and got out the best way he could. But he was scrambling, he was flustered, and it's cool to see that version of Batman. He's mad all the time. He's not talking a lot. He is he's walking through the crime scene, and they're like, the fuck is this dude? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not getting the respect. People are scared of him, but they're also like, bro, come on, man. Like, your big ass boots, like, you in the way.
Hey, like Boss just said too, when he was flying from the precinct and he plugged that damn beam.
Yeah, right. He took some lumps, man. He is not, he don't have a cape. He got that squirrel suit, and that man straight up just clotheslined himself. I said that hurt me.
but no. The point is the fact that he hit it, landed on the ground, popped back up, like shit. I got to keep moving though. Like,
yeah, it's just that part is good, man. Selena Kyle is the heart of the movie for sure, which is dope because it's a different side of her, and primarily when you see Catwoman has her own agenda, and it's about Catwoman. But to see the heart, to see their dynamic, they had super good chemistry. I thought that was good. Colin Farrell as a Penguin was dope all the way around. You know what I mean? Like that whole car scene and the club scene, I thought were like 2 of the best scenes in the movie. I wish they would have did more with Carmine, but it wasn't bad. They had a lot of ground to cover, right? So they did what they could. And Jeffrey Wright was an amazing Jim Gordon. The Riddler was dope. So cast wise and everything, everybody from the cast contributed was good. The score was fucking great, and I like a good score. I'm not a score junkie, but every time the music was like prominent in a scene, you felt it. Like it set the tone properly. Like when Batman's rolling up on you and that music is playing, dun 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 dun, you're like, oh shit. Like I'm feeling for this dude. He's walking up on Penguin. I feel like he's walking up on me. You know what I mean? So I think they did a good job of setting the tone for the movie. And I like the fact that Batman didn't stop everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He not only did he not stop everything, the Penguin let him know, hey, you dumbass, like y'all got this wrong. This riddle is wrong. And by the time they figured everything out and they caught the Riddler, even I was sitting in the theater like, damn, that's it? Like what comes next? And then he's like, nah, bro, I'm already done with my part. I expected y'all to catch me. Guess what? You can't catch this water though. Like you know what I'm saying?
Not only catch this water, but what about my fan base?
Yeah, and the fan base that reminded me of like the conspiracy theorist guys online. Hey, we got this bet. We ready to roll on y'all. And they did that scene where he comes through and starts fighting those guys. It was dope. But I think most of the movie we didn't see Batman really take any lumps from a person. And they essentially as a crew finally wore him down from shooting him and knocking him off of shit. He's hanging from every damn ledge you can think of. And then when he finally passed out again, because Batman be passing out, man. He put that adrenaline in him. Bro, he took that adrenaline out and said,
See, y'all thought it was adrenaline. I thought it was I'm thinking, and I'm still thinking Venom? It's the shit. Yeah, it's Venom. I'm thinking it's Venom. Because it's the same color of the stuff Bane pumps inside of his veins.
Yeah. The only reason I don't, it could be, and that's what Laney was saying when we were watching it. The only reason I don't know if it is because his resources for Batman is still limited. I feel like he can get his hands on adrenaline. If they got Venom in there, that would be a cool like nod to like, all right.
If it wasn't that color, I would have said, okay, boom, it's adrenaline. But since it was that bright green color, I was like, oh shit, that looks like Venom.
Yeah.
But that's the only reason.
He beat that dude's ass, man. So I like that. I like the way the movie progressed to him kind of realizing like one, I gotta chill. I've been angry the whole, like we got angry Bruce Wayne. We got angry ass Batman. He really didn't take a break from being angry, man. He's angry for 3 hours. He's angry as hell.
Sleep? You be angry too?
Yeah, he didn't sleep. He didn't eat properly, man. He's getting messed up and banged up.
He found out some information about his dad and shit. Like he was just
there was a lot of twists in this movie that were good too.
Well,
so
I was also telling my brother, you can kind of tell that they took. I ain't gonna say they purposely did it, but I felt once again, spoiler alert to people who hadn't played it, they kind of took a little bit of Telltale season 1 Batman game. Because Telltale season 1 Batman game, they had an aspect of Thomas and Martha Wayne were really bad guys for real.
Yeah.
Like they were really secretly villains for real. And they actually took the company from Penguin.
Was it Penguin?
Yeah, it was Penguin. They actually took the company from Penguin, and then when Penguin came back, he took the company back and took all the money, and then Bruce essentially was paying for the sins of his father, just like kind of what they were saying in the movie. So they kind of seemed like they took a little bit of those elements, a little bit too, of the whole maybe Thomas and Martha wasn't as great as you thought, but like you said, it was really more protecting Martha. Thomas got desperate. And from that,
he made a mistake.
He
paid for it. He wanted to, hey, I know some gangsters. But I like that. I like that aspect of it and him trying to come to terms. He's got so much on his shoulders through that movie. He's starting to like realize, I care about people. which was good. So they did a good job of all those layers. He's starting to realize like his relationship with Selena, you know what I mean? Like he's going through that. Batman trying to save a whole city, man, while you're going through some sexual frustration, man. It can't be easy, man. Batman at every turn was trying so hard to be a gentleman, man. He slammed on that table. He said, man, look, I gotta save this city. But goddamn, I thought twice about letting these people die. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's Zoe
Honestly,
Kravitz.
you know what? I think the only thing that stopped him, if she wasn't so gung ho on saving and avenging her friend, he probably would have been like, you know what? A couple of people can die.
Yeah, they can. Hey, come on, man. Look, I done let people get robbed. And kudos to them for not doing that shit that they do every Batman movie where he's just like, I'm Bruce Wayne. I love you. I'm Bruce Wayne. I trust you. I'm Bruce Wayne.
The whole time I was wondering, was he going to reveal his identity to either Catwoman or Gordon?
I'm glad he didn't. Yeah, you gotta ease into that. He does not trust anybody, and that is Batman. Batman has a contingency plan. He's paranoid. He does not trust people easily, and I thought they did a good job. But if he don't trust Alfred, he better damn sure not tell Cat. I don't care how good Zoe Kravitz look. He better not tell anybody. She got the persuasive skills to get him to crack, but he didn't fold, man. And anyway, lastly, I will say I don't know if the movie needed to be 3 hours. I don't, but I didn't feel the 3 hours. There was some things that I felt like could have been shorter with the memorial scene. Just some of the hospital stuff. I know they tried to like give some emotional like scenes in there to show you like, yo, Batman is conflicted, you know, with how he feels and trying to cut himself off from everything. I don't know if 3 hours was necessary, but I didn't feel it until I had to go to the bathroom. I didn't feel it. If there's any, I don't have a lot of knocks. If there's any knock, and it's not really a knock, it's more like I know that they said they wanted to have a version of Superman. I want somebody to figure. Huh?
Matt Reeves?
No, he said he did. He said he almost included one.
Oh,
but then they took it out. Yeah, so I want them to figure out how you get a real Batman and a real Superman, or at least other people. Like, you don't have to bring in Aquaman, right? Like, if you're trying to keep it somewhat grounded, you're probably not gonna bring a dude out of the seas. But if you look at Brightburn, which I know is not Matt Reeves, right? But Brightburn was James Gunn, and it was a realistic, you know, evil Superman movie, but everything in there looked believable, right? It didn't look like it was over the top. This kid could fly. He had all the same powers as Superman, but he was just a damn demon kid, man. If they could, I think that relationship is dope. Maybe not like right off the bat, but like 3-4 movies in, hey, Superman is here. You know what I mean? Yeah, but other than that, that's it. Like, because if you don't get Superman, you're not gonna get you might not get a good Killer Croc. You might not get Clayface. You might not get I'm trying to think of who else. You're not gonna get a good Ra's al Ghul, because the Ra's al Ghul we got in Batman Begins was super grounded. Ra's al Ghul's supposed to be immortal. He ain't supposed to be lying and say he this damn Asian dude. Nah, bitch, I'm Ra's al Ghul. I've been alive for thousands of years. Fuck you. I got hands and I run this shit.
I'm confused right now.
So, did you see Batman Begins, Aranya?
I mean, probably in '93 when it came out.
Batman Begins came out in like 04, but okay.
Yeah.
Same amount of time in here.
Basically, he's just an immortal figure that in the movie they had him train Batman, but he runs a shadow organization. Probably he knows that Batman's the greatest detective. One of the only people he respects is Batman, and Batman knocked up his daughter and gave him Damian Wayne. You know,
yeah.
She pulled up like, hey, it's child support time, or you gonna take him? And Batman said, I ain't paying you shit. Give me that little boy. We're gonna make him Robin. But that's it. I just want to see them add.
Literally, that's basically what
that was. I just want to see them try to add those elements in while still keeping it like the realism, because I want to see Clayface. I don't know about y'all, but like I would love to see Clayface.
I wouldn't mind seeing Clayface.
Yeah.
Clayface was an actor,
yes,
and he had this special makeup that could make him look young and stuff. But the makeup, what happened? He fell into the.
He owed somebody money or something, and they threw him. You know, they throw you in Nevada or whatever some shit is. Hey, if we throw you in Nevada, this, and then it turned him basically into a clay-like figure, and he can turn his body or his face into anything, but he's just a big mountain of clay.
Yeah.
So he looks like the people. What's the dude from the Fantastic Four? The one that looks like Starburst?
Not exactly, but you're in the ballpark.
Yeah, more melty, like brown ice cream.
I'll send you a picture of
with some chunks in it. But I thought it was a good movie. If I had to put, I would say like I would still give it a 10 out of 10.
Wait. Say that.
Oh, my bad. Okay. All right.
Before we get there,
yes, good movie.
All right. There were plenty of characters in this movie. Who would y'all give MVP to? I'm gonna go first. I got co-MVPs. I'm gonna say.
Oh, that's a cop out.
It is. It's a cop out because they were on both spectrums. So of course I'm gonna give Jeffrey Wright for his Jim Gordon and Paul Dano for his Riddler. That's why I said they was on both spectrums. So that's why I said I give co-MVPs to them two. Hold on. Boss, who you got for your MVP of the movie?
I ain't gonna cop out. It's easily Paul Dano. Like, Paul Dano is, other than Heath Ledger's Joker, I would say this is probably one of the greatest Batman villain portrayals in a live action Batman movie. He was incredibly insane, and like the way as a true crime fan, I can tell they modeled him after the Zodiac Killer with all the taunting and the crypto clues and the reaching out to police and shit. You know, it was, and when they caught him and you realize, like the Riddler is in every version of him, he was just a meek, nerdy, little lame dude, like Aranya said. And you see him behind the bars, and his psychosis starts going off when Batman taunts him, and he's like, "No."
Yeah.
Like, it was like, I was like, man, I like this. Like he was having a meltdown, and when that boy started singing Ave Maria, I was like, I was done. I was like, hold on, this dude is one of the
he
goats.
went full
like,
crazy.
It's like the top tier live action Batman villain portrayals is Heath Ledger's Joker, Paul Dano, and then Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman. It's them three at the top for me. Like, he was so good. He's the MVP of this movie in my eyes.
All right, Zerk, who you got for your MVP?
I also have to give it to the Riddler. And as Boss was commenting, I was thinking about how we see at the end when he's caught and he is in the asylum, it's just this, like you say, this nerdy, meek and mild dude, you know, and then we start to see just the depth of the psychosis. But what was so cool was the fact that before we get there and we just see this masked maniac, you don't think that. That man behind the mask, you know, I wasn't thinking meek and nerdy and all that kind of stuff, you know, because like disclaimer, I also am not into comic books, so all of my exposure is from films. So, given that, I wasn't thinking some meek and nerdy guy or anything like that, you know. That was just, he handled that just so well. You expect somebody, just some strong evil mastermind, given what we saw behind the mask, and then when he's caught, wait a minute, this is some little nerdy weirdo. But his psychosis is just that deep, I guess, that it can make him strong behind that mask. Or maybe the mask, you know, he's hiding the pain behind the mask. As we saw,
that's his real face.
Yeah, There you go. And I think he said something about that. That was his face.
That's his real face. Yep.
That was his real face. So and then we see what gave birth to that psychosis and to that strength behind the mask. Just having a crappy childhood.
Yep.
A really crappy childhood. And given that, maybe there is some sort of similarity or relation between him and Bruce Wayne, from the childhood standpoint. Yeah, we know Bruce grew up, privileged. He's got the money, yada, 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 and all that kind of stuff. But let's not forget, the effect his parents dying had on him. I mean, growing up without your parents, starting off that young, you can say, yeah, I had a crappy childhood, even though I got money, but my people ain't here.
Right.
I lost it so early. Mm-hmm. So they have a common ground right there. And I also have to say, I know this is not MVP conversation, but that empathy that Bruce / Bat had for the mayor's son.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It wasn't shown in speech. You can feel it by how he was looking at him, and you understood immediately he was seeing himself in that child. And quick hot take came to mind. Don't be surprised if that child became Robin. Kind of a good setup to being a Robin. Also, side note, to Niko bringing up Superman, that I think would be so cool. No, it wouldn't be cool. It'd be awesome. Given what Matt Reeves has done with this take of Batman, if he were to be convinced to essentially do his own DC universe and having that style, that heart he put into this movie, we would see other characters in such a different light. I mean, like you brought up Superman, Niko. We used to just everything so well. I'll just say I'm used to more of a truth and justice, lighthearted feel for Superman. I don't think, given what I saw in Batman, I don't think Reeves would go down that route. We see some real emotional development and turmoil with the rest of these characters.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that'll be awesome. But to wrap up, I got to give MVP to Paul Dano.
Before I kick it to Aranya, I know y'all said what y'all said, but fuck Superman. All right, Aranya, who's your MVP?
Martinez. I'm kidding. He was like the only person who they actually gave a name to. I'm gonna have to say Gordon, and the reason I say Gordon is because there is something so pure in someone who tries to do what's best for everybody. Everything wasn't perfect. He took a lot of chances with his job. He took a lot of chances bringing in Batman. He took a lot of chances just being there, getting his little hints, whatever. Like, he took a lot of chances because he was trying to do what was right. And that, I think, is not really, people don't really pay attention to, if you will, because it's just kind of like, but he's not a superhero. He doesn't get the accolades that Batman gets. He gets his ass chewed out by the man with the little voice, but he's taking those chances because he's trying to do what's right for the people. And I really appreciate that. I can really wholeheartedly appreciate it. I think that it's a brave thing because thankless. You're not getting all the tiny shit. You're not getting the Riddler, the Riddler. You're not getting the Batman, the mysterious Catwoman. You ain't getting shit. You get to stand in the back or next to the man with the tiny voice and nod and be like this.
Mm-hmm. No, or you get punched by Batman.
Right.
One of the best scenes was when they were both interrogating Penguin and he kept doing them head nods and them head tilts. He was like, "Give up the information, fam. Give up." Oh my god.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was gonna say that their banter, like him and Batman too, like he was a real ass Jim Gordon, man. He said, what did he say? He said, hey man, could have pulled your punch a little bit. And Batman's like, I did. He's like, no, fuck that. You did. And then when they're going in, I think was it where they were going with the Riddler? and he had the gun out. I can't remember, but he's like, hey, no guns. Batman's like, no guns. He's like, hey man, that's your thing.
Right.
I'm not Batman.
He was real with it.
No,
I
I
agree.
love the scene too of when he was like, wait, let me talk to him. And he was like, all right, Gordon, you got 10 minutes. Hey, now you gonna have to punch me in the face. And the way he was talking to him, you would have thought he was chewing him out. He was like,
yeah, he was like in his face.
In the face.
Like,
Take
man,
these
cool.
keys.
Like, that
Run
was
out
great.
that door.
Yeah. Like, I mean, don't give me like secondary, of course, is the Riddler. And because I am a horror girl, I will always be a horror girl. Shout out to the saw-like contraptions that he put on people. Thank you, because I needed that little element of horror in there. I was like this. I told Boss, I was like, that's a saw contraption. Look at it. I was so excited. I was like, yes. So I mean, but I had to give it to Gordon as my MVP because I really could see his struggles and really appreciate it from an aspect of you're not a superhero, you're not a anti-villain, you're none of those things. None of those. You're just a man, and you're like, I'm trying to do what's right, and I like that.
All right, Niko.
Let me add in real
last
quick,
but not
Ryan,
least.
to how you
Okay.
described his struggle. Also, the fact that it's like he's the only one there that wants to do the right thing. He's seeing all the dirt that's in the department. He is like an odd man out.
Yeah.
And then really the odds are against him.
Yeah.
You know, do I back up fellow officers or do I keep doing the right thing? And he's
Because
always choosing,
it was
I'm doing the right thing. But as
anytime
Ryan
another
said,
cop-
I'm risking everything.
Yeah. Anytime he find out another cop was, he's like, wait, they dirty too?
Yeah, he's like, God damn. Like, damn.
It's like you told me about Run Roach, hit some more.
Right.
All right, Niko, who you got for the MVP?
Oh man, I won't do a MVP. I'll do an honorable mention. You know what I'm saying? I won't completely. You know what I'm saying? I won't do that. But I'ma go in the different route. Because everybody can't have the Riddler. You know what I'm saying? Even though Paul Dano did his thing, I'm gonna give it to Zoe Kravitz. I'm gonna give it to Catwoman, man. I think one. Every time you bring up the Catwoman character in a movie or whatever, all people can kind of like tilt their hats to is Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because she was the first on the big screen, and just she was the best. You know what I mean? Up until now, I think she was still good. What makes me gravitate more towards Zoe? There was no perfect. Like they threw a couple of those lines in, but ultimately I like her portrayal of Catwoman, and I give her the MVP because of like the heart and the story and the physicality of somebody who's probably like 120 pounds. Like she came in there and made you believe she could go toe to toe with Batman. She was whooping just as much ass as Batman when they were in scenes where they were fighting people. And I mean, she acted her ass off when she saw, her dad. You saw the fear in her eye. You didn't know what their relationship was, but you like, what is this? You know what I mean? And then when you figured out what it was, and she had him right there, you wanted her to kill him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like she was doing all this for her friend. She got a little money on the side, but like she said, that's her damn money. Like I liked her being the heart of the film. I liked what she did. I liked the little nod of the costume that they put her in with the leather, was it bustier or whatever, and the leather pants. That's a comic book. That's a Batman season or year one thing. But yeah, I don't know. She was one of my favorite characters. The honorable mention has to go to Robert Pattinson. I don't know how we can't give him any because for everything that we mentioned with Twilight, I will say nobody has mentioned. I don't know if y'all seen Tenet, but I feel like he carried that movie.
Tenet yet.
He carried that movie.
He did.
He carried that movie. Remember Me is another one. I know a lot of people knocked it, but that was like a 9/11 movie.
Well, my issue is I didn't want to give Pattinson his full credit yet because I don't know how I like him as Bruce Wayne.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean, even made those comments to Mike too. I love him as Batman, but him as Bruce Wayne, I don't know how I feel about that yet.
Yeah, and this is just as a Batman thing, so I agree with you there. On the Batman side, he made me believe he was threatening, right? he showed me the detective side of Batman for the first time, and he did a good job of it. Even though it was, again, I don't know if y'all watched the animated version of the Long Halloween.
Not yet.
But it's really good. But it's kind of the same thing where they show you like Batman can fuck up too. Like he can get something wrong. And he's a human. You know what I mean? He did
Boss also said, don't forget the Lighthouse.
the
Yeah.
Lighthouse.
Yeah.
Another Robert Pattinson movie, The Lighthouse.
Oh, the Lighthouse. I didn't see the Lighthouse. He's got a ton of good movies though. That like well-reviewed movies. Like he's a good actor, man. People got to chill. You know what I'm saying? But he was little in that movie to me. He was bigger than a lot of people, and I don't know if it was the suit or like the way that they shot it. But he just made me believe him as Batman. He's got some work to do on Bruce Wayne, and I hope that they beef him up a little bit as he gets older. But not co-MVP, but the honorable mention will go to Robert Pattinson for me. He did a good job as Batman.
All right, well, Nico, you was bringing it up earlier, so I guess the last category, the rating.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I get.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna give it, bro. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. I was gonna say 9 for the 3-hour runtime, but honestly, I can't think of one time in that movie that I was just like done or bored in the movie. Like I didn't notice the 3-hour runtime. There wasn't any over the top superhero quips. I'm rich or anything like that. Like there was just, there was some quick quips here, but they kept you in the mood that this is a real ass situation. Everybody in Gotham is going through something. The city is hurting and bleeding. Awesome villain, awesome like supporting characters, great score. The ending was good. The lead up to what supposedly is gonna come next was good, and this was carefully like put together. So I can't knock it. As far as a film goes and a Batman film goes, I gotta give it a 10, man.
All right, Orion.
I'm gonna give it 9 out of 10, and the reason I gave it 9 is because I don't remember the others well enough to really compare it. But from the cinematography, like Zerk mentioned, the scene where after the flood was well, the whatever, the flood was very Hurricane Katrina-esque, and it really, struck something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that it really captured an emotion there that these people are struggling, and he's out there really trying to help. Like, who's really the mayor of the city? You know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciated that. I appreciated all the acting, like I said. And I enjoyed it. I mean, I thought 3 hours was long when I saw it on paper, but like, I think everything that happened had to evoke a certain emotion, and it had to fall into place in order for it to all make sense. Because that's a lot of information to have to cram into something, and it didn't feel rushed. I hate going into a movie that feels rushed. And you're like, this, never mind. What did y'all cut out? Because this is ridiculous. Like,
Exactly.
I
We're looking
felt
at
like
you, Venom. All right, my bad.
I felt like
And
it was thoroughly explained. And I do agree that I would like to see a little more of Bruce Wayne in itself. Not just I'm finna spray paint on my own floor, Bruce Wayne, but like literally, like I need to see a little more from that because again, I'm blank. So I'm like, Batman got it. Bruce Wayne, you don't sleep or eat. Like, are you okay? You good? So yeah, so that's I give it a 9 out of 10.
I'm giving it straight 10 batarangs out of 10. I'm just keeping it short and simple. Nico then kind of said straight 10 batarangs out of 10. Boss, what you give it?
I
Zap
get the same
Daddy.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, and I'm excited to see where they go next because what I would love to see um, is like two villains. Two villains. I know they're not going to do Joker next because he said in the interview he's not doing Joker even though he was in this movie. Um, I would love to see Clayface done in a more grounded way, where it's just like this dude, like the animated show, where he had this makeup that made him look younger, and like he's just obsessed with like his image, and he just becomes like this master makeup artist where he can just make himself look like anybody through makeup, and he just kills people. Or Calendar Man, because one of my all time favorite Batman stories, The Long Halloween. I would love to see Calendar Man, and that those two, I think, lend themselves more to the grounded young Batman that could be out there. So, you know, 10 out of 10. I can't wait to see where they go next. If they want him to do more, because we don't know. Warner Brothers is wishy-washy.
Oh, bro.
So, but yeah, so I'm excited to see where it goes, if it goes anywhere.
Now they teased Hush.
They did.
They could do Hush. I would love to see Hush.
Have their reporter be Hush.
That because that reporter was Hush, wasn't it? The name was
right.
the same.
Yeah.
So they could do Hush. That's another good one. So, but like hopefully they'll let him do another one, or at least 2 more. And so I would love to see him. I can't wait to see him.
All right, Zerk.
I have to give it a 10 because, I mean, I have to be honest with myself. I just thoroughly enjoyed the movie. Writing was great, and the fact that they didn't try too hard to say this is Batman, this is Catwoman, this is Penguin. They didn't try too hard. They made them so human, so realistic. It didn't feel like a fantasy. Kind of like the same thing what Chris Nolan did. It didn't feel like a fantasy. It was very grounded in reality, and I really enjoyed that. Next steps I'd like to see, of course, love to see the Joker. No, he said it's not going to happen, but maybe he'll change his mind. I know we were just making jokes about it earlier, but just put this in y'all's mind. Terrence Howard as Harvey Dent. I know Terrence can be pretty dark. He can handle being kind of a dark villain without overdoing it.
Mm-hmm.
That could be interesting to see him be Harvey Dent.
As long as I get a 5 main quota, I'm fine.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
Well, Scoop, it depends on how he handles the character, because another thing we also saw in this movie is how people didn't try to be like the last guy, because that would kill something.
Yeah.
Like we didn't see Heath Ledger trying to be Jack Nicholson.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see Joaquin Phoenix try to be Heath Ledger. We didn't see Robert Pattinson trying to be Michael Keaton or Christian Bale.
Yep.
So
thank God.
Yeah, he's like, they did have Billy D as Harvey Dent. I remember that, But
wait, they had, what do you mean?
Yeah, and the original Batman with Michael Keaton, Billy D. Williams.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, bro. Thank God they didn't do that. Yeah. Batman, man, come on.
Man, that would have been hilarious. Seeing Billy D. Williams as Two-Face.
Let me flip my coin, Batman.
Yeah, I'm about to flip
heads or tails.
Heads.
After I rob this bank, gonna find some women.
Heads.
Drink some St. Ides with them.
In your head.
Yeah.
Tails. We just gonna kick back with a Colt 45.
Colt 45. You got to get you home, my brother.
Yeah. But Billy D was talking about a 5 main quota. Like, look here. You never know. He could be all smooth, suave, and everything as Harvey Dent till he has his accident.
That's the main right here.
And he gets touched up here. What did he just say?
I said that's how it is. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Don't you see my face, man?
Fuck out of here, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, like you decide who you finna get, be like heads Harvey, tails you get Maine.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Like, you don't know what I went through. You don't know what I went through, Batman.
Man, come on, man. Fuck out of here, Batman.
Look at man,
Batman wouldn't know what to do. He like, wait.
Man, you know what the fuck you talking about, man.
I didn't train for this. I didn't train.
You wait a minute, Nico. You was ready for this. You was ready for somebody to bring up Terrence Howard as Terrence Howard. You had it locked and loaded, man.
Terrence Howard need to be in every movie, man. Just for that, in every conversation. I would let Terrence Howard be fucking Batman.
That would be interesting.
I would let Terrence Howard be Batman. It got to be all the villains and stuff got to be swole like they do in the comic books. Like it's just got to be over the top. I've been in this city for 2 years, man. I don't know if I'm making a difference or what. Yeah, they're like, go ahead, man. this is actually Latin. You know what I'm saying? La Rachata, man. I just,
Look here, he could have been Gordon, like Batman. You could have pulled that punch, man.
come on, man.
You could have pulled that punch, man.
Yeah, that's your thing, man.
Like that, man.
I shoot guns, man.
Hold on, y'all give me 5
Yeah.
minutes, man. Let me talk to him 5 minutes.
Come on, Terrence Howard, he itching to
Look
get
here,
back.
man. You gotta take this key. You gotta punch me. But look here, you better be careful with that punch, man. And you're gonna go out this door right here, man. All right, but yeah.
Every movie need Terrence. Terrence Howard been trying to get. After Iron Man 2, he probably been looking for something. He'll be media man if they give him a chance. Terrence Howard will be media man. It's a new spin on media man. I mean, man.
All right, well, there you have it. Our thoughts, feelings about Batman.
Spawn,
we
man.
Appreciate y'all coming out. Sorry for the audio issues down there from Zap Daddy. You know what I'm saying?
Zap Daddy. Hey.
Obviously, his phone is a ever-present crinkling bag of chips.
It's just a bar soap.
Man, he was down eating bugles.
This is a longer form of a Car Chronicles review since we all seen it together. But of course, y'all know Boss and Aranya gonna be bringing y'all more Car Chronicles reviews because I know they hit up the movies almost every other week, man. So no telling what they're gonna see.
A-list, man.
You know what I'm saying? No telling what movie they're gonna see next, man. So y'all just got to be on the lookout for a next Car Chronicles review. No telling what they're gonna see, what they're gonna do. Y'all just got to be on the lookout. But the best way you can be on the lookout, you got to subscribe. Either on YouTube or on Spotify, Apple, all the other good stuff. We're on Twitch. We on Twitch, man. The LessThanStealthyNinjas, man. You know what I'm saying? You got NEONXERXES on Twitch, man. You got the main man over there, Planet Niko. Let them know tonight what you playing.
Hey, tonight, man, we playing some of that, man. We playing some of that Warzone, man. We gonna drop in the Caldera, man. Shooting everything, man.
So, we here. Thank y'all for coming out. Thank y'all for listening. Go see the Batman, man. or just go see Batman. Whatever you want to call it. Thank y'all for coming. We appreciate it. And at the end of the day, we here to make our Ninja Village proud, man. Praise.
Peace, man.